Okay, proceed.
All right. What we need, with apologies to Joe Lenardi, a wokatology bracket.
Oh, Lord.
To assess the most unhinged Democrats trying to take over the Democratic Party right now. I've got my number one seeds. We got Jasmine Crockett. We got AOC. We got Ilhan Omar. Now, the fourth one I'm undecided about. I'm tempted to give it to Chris Murphy because he's just really picked up his game in the last two to 3 weeks. But I really think we need a bracket to see which of these crazy Dems is going to ultimately take control of this party and bring its approval ratings from 29 to even lower depths. That's my hope for a term.
To deport undocumented Venezuelans that the administration say are dangerous individuals with ties to the gang Tren de Aragua. That gang is obviously associated with a lot of crime, human trafficking, drug dealing, theft, shootings, including in your state of Texas, right outside of your congressional district. Do you agree with this? And if not, what's your issue with the U.S. using any tool at its disposal to remove undocumented violent people from this country?
Well, my argument is that we already have tools that are available to remove undocumented violent people from our country. And so the idea that you want to go into a zombie law, this is kind of like what we saw in Arizona when they decided to revive a zombie law around abortion. It is the fact that we can't trust this administration to actually use a scalpel, but instead they love to use a butcher knife on things. And so giving them this wide latitude to just kind of go across and just claim that anybody is anything is wrong. And so we do have courts, we do have processes, we do have laws, and we should just go ahead and use those. There's a reason that nobody else has decided to go back until into Adam's times in order to try to find ways to make sure that we can keep our country safe.
You say to those who claim you're using a 200-year-old law to circumvent due process?
An old law? Not as old as the Constitution. We still pay attention to that, don't we?
But some would say this is...
Yeah, I think you have to be a deranged party to tell a president who ran on deportation not to deport people, especially when he's saying it's targeted deportation. Like, make it make sense. And like Scott Jennings' segment in the beginning of this intro that you just saw, how he talked about the most unhinged Democrats, and in listing them off, he said Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy, to me, is number one. That man, that man is peak derangement. But, I digress. And Jasmine Crockett, you saw as a follow-up, talked about how you're using zombie laws to justify your current actions. And then I decided to put the comeback from Tom Homan saying Constitution's older than that, and we still follow it. And always got excuses. Always got reasons to disregard what the other side wants to say. And this is the biggest problem I have with Democrats. But I want to focus on the fact that a lot of these Democrats are demanding deportation stop, right? Trump's here fighting damn near just to govern as a president. Trump's DOJ delivers epic response to judge order to turn around planes deporting Venezuela gang members, right? You're already in the air, right? This is a perfect example of how out of touch the Democratic Party truly is. To the fact that they would go out of their way, essentially, to defend Tren de Aragua gang members. And my question to you, America, is, do you believe that the Democrats love America more than they hate Trump? That's a question I'll leave for you in the comment section below. But here's this clip of Don Jr., son of Donald Trump, son of the 45th and 46th president of the United States, making the case that Democrats hate Trump more than they love you and the world, essentially. Let's take a look.
Just look at what happened this last weekend. They have a plane of like 300 Tren de Aragua guys. These are some of the worst drug-dealing, criminal, murderous, rapist, fentanyl peddling people in the world, okay, funded like a terrorist regime. I mean, this is truly, it is a terrorist organization. And a liberal judge, just like this, wants to overrule the will of the President of the United States and the people who put them there with a mandate to end this nonsense. So it's going on right now. We saw it this weekend. They wanted to turn a plane of murderers, drug dealers, and rapists around because they would rather have them living in our community because somehow they think that benefits them politically.
And this is how the Democratic Party is slowly collapsing, because they have nothing but Trump derangement. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do when Trump's not here anymore? If Trump wasn't a thing in our politics, I can't think of one thing Democrats can stand on. Democrats talking about how cost of living is so high, but some places with the highest cost of living are Democratic cities, Democratic states with the highest cost of living. They want to brag, oh, we got the richest people here. No, you don't. Making $200K in New York is not the same as making $200K in Florida. You make $200K in New York, you're losing a good 30% of it. And then on top of that, a 10% tax because you live in the city of New York. Versus over here, we don't got state tax. I don't know a city that taxes its citizens a percentage. You got a city tax and a state tax. Oh my God, California. Oh my God, New York, Boston. But our policies are so popular, says the Democrat. Even this one, keeping gang members, keeping illegal criminals, criminal illegals in our country, that's popular? I don't think so.
Here, though, other than, say, tattoos or maybe being in the wrong place at the wrong time, are they using to determine that someone is actually a member of one of these organizations?
Intelligence and the men and women on the ground in the interior of our country who are finally being allowed to do their jobs. Their hands were tied under the previous administration, and as I said, they take their jobs very seriously. They should be trusted and respected by the American public with this operation. And of course, as I said to Kelly, the administration will provide all details to the questions that the court poses. Jennifer.
There you go. But, our policies are popular. Oh, yeah, open border, transgender surgery for people in prisons. Those are popular ideas. So investing taxpayer money into affordable housing when every time I look at an instance of people investing taxpayer money and say, oh, we're going to build infrastructure. Oh, that's going to take 30 years. So this is the thing when I get in debates with my cousins and my liberal nieces and stuff. I asked them, okay, Kamala Harris was going to give money for affordable housing. How long would it take for the affordable housing to happen? Can't quantify it, right? Because right now they have what $8 billion to build charging stations, give rural America internet, broadband internet, and they said it was going to take 10 years. Okay, so if you vote for Kamala Harris and she tells you, oh, I'm going to give you $2 billion for affordable housing, towards affordable housing, but it's going to take 10 to 20 years to get affordable housing, would you still have voted for her compared to what Donald Trump was trying to do? I don't think so. And in the worst case, the investment may not even work. Have you ever accounted for that? And this is what I'm talking about, returning back to practicality. We need to act like adults again. We can't let emotional people continue gaslighting us with their superficial, naive approaches. Oh, look, she was going to invest $20 billion into homelessness. California did that already, and homelessness grew after the investment. Make it make sense. That means they did a bad job. And where's the accountability? There is none, because he did it in a deep blue state that they rather suffer in misery with Democratic leadership than prosper under a Republican leadership. That is emotionalism. And it has taken over the Democratic Party to the point where now they're trying to make the case, oh, you should keep people who broke your laws in the first place. We should keep them in this country because of feelings. Because we're going to separate families. You separate families every day when you arrest an American criminal for doing something. When you get a woman that abused her kids, you separate families there, huh? We have kids in orphanages for a reason, right? But they don't play that gaslighting, emotional blackmail game with Americans. And this is why I say Democrats are American last. You put America last and you want to rule us? You want to have power over us? You want to be in leadership, Democrats? Hell no. And I think this is one of the number one reason why Donald Trump won the election and the popular vote. Because people will say, hey, I may not like how he come across. I may not like how he talks. Hell, I may not even like him. But I know for one thing, he has our interests at heart. Democrats don't have our interests at heart. They're sitting here telling us what they're going to do, even though they're in power right now. Make it make sense. And Democrats were wondering, oh, we got a low approval rating because we're not opposing Trump enough. No, you've been opposing Trump his entire birth in the political landscape. Since 2015, you've been opposing Trump. And every year, it gets less and less effective. To the point now, you guys are like the Democrats who cried fascism, the Democrats who cried racism, the Democrats who cried Nazism. No one believes you anymore because you do stuff like this.
I have a question on the timeline of the flights. You keep talking about the judge's written order, which hit the docket Saturday night at about 7:26 p.m., but he issued a verbal order before that at about 6:45 and 6:48 p.m. based on the court hearing. A verbal order from the bench. Does the White House feel the need to comply with a verbal order from this judge?
Again, as I said, all of the planes subject to the written order of this judge departed U.S. soil, U.S. territory before the judge's written order.
But what about the verbal order, which of course carries the same legal weight as a written order, and said for the planes to turn around if they were in the air?
There's actually questions about whether a verbal order carries the same weight as a legal order, as a written order, and our lawyers are determined to ask and answer those questions in court. Sean.
Hey, I have a question on the timeline.
Making every attempt to just defend their lunacy. Make it make sense. They pretend that they're the tolerant part. Oh, we're so tolerant. We're so this. No, you're not. Here's a video of a man who got his Tesla vandalized. You think a Republican's doing this? You think conservatives are doing this? No. Leftists. Look at BLM. Y'all destroy property. Yeah, destroying property is y'all calling card.
This is what happened to my car, y'all.
Hell, man may not even know what's going on. He may be a casual, politically just neutral. Don't care about politics like that. Don't pay attention to politics like that. And you just randomly vandalize his car. You think that helps your cause, Democrats? Democrats, this is how y'all becoming unhinged.
Look at this. Look at this.
It's the same thing with the climate change stuff. It's not effective. You just are getting on people's nerves. And you think you're popular? You think you're popular? You think this is gonna get people to resonate with you? If someone vandalized my house because of my political opinions, you're gonna get two. You either get the flight or the fight. And most of the time, you're gonna get the fight because people are not gonna sit here and tolerate your spoiled little tantrums. And this is how the left comes across. They come across like children. A lot of you come across like children. I digress. Let's continue.
Y'all see this? Clown American. I don't know what this is. Is this paint? War. Bro, somebody destroyed my car. Destroyed my car while I was taking you up to the doctor. Destroyed my car. This is no cap. Look at this. All on my windshield. All right in this. Look at this. My car is destroyed.
And who destroyed it? The left. The left did that. Who firebombed Seattle police stations? The left did that. But what these left-wing pundits on CNN want you to worry about? January 6th. January 6th only affected politicians. And at best, it was a riot, right? And this is the problem. This is the problem we have. You hold Republicans and conservatives in a higher standard than you hold leftists, progressive, socialists. Now you want talks, oh, AOC should lead the Democratic Party. And I want to know if people agree with this take from Greg Foreman of the YouTube channel Black Conservative Perspective, right? Brian Kazastein, my favorite liberal. I couldn't care less what anyone says. AOC is the future of the Democratic Party because she actually prioritized governing for the people instead of treating public office like a get-rich-quick scheme. And let's hear what AOC has to say, right?
Fact that people are choosing between medicine and rent is barbarism.
And this is why I say socialists come across as entitled. Socialists, and sorry, I'm a little sick. I've been fighting through a cold. Socialists feel entitled to other people's labor. Socialists treat other people like they're slaves. Hey, clean up for me. Hey, give me services for free. Huh? I'm not a slave. You can't just sit here and demand, oh, I want medicine. Well, it took a lot of time, effort, sleepless nights to create these vaccines. It took a lot of knowledge, accumulated knowledge. Someone needs to get paid for that. Someone needs to get rewarded for doing a good deed. But you want it for free because it's convenient for you.
The fact that people are worried about whether they will be on the street every 4 weeks is barbarism.
And why? Okay, but this is why I said that if she's the future of the Democratic Party is screwed. Because think about it. Democrats in Democratic cities, Democratic states, they have rent control. And they have some of the highest rent in the country. New York, with rent control. They have rent control. R-E-N-T, control. And they still have some of the highest rent in the nation. Some of the highest cost of living areas to live at is in the New York Cities, Bostons of the world, Californias of the world. Some of the reason why is they get high rent, and also they're taking a lot of your money into their pocket. You're paying like 30% taxes on your money. On top of state tax, on top of city tax. Certain cities have city tax, Democratic city. They're actively taking money out of your pocket. And at the top of that, they got high cost of living. Make it make sense. But this is Democrats for you. But they don't see the problem here. They're taxing you to drive on the road to get to work in New York. That's asinine to me. That's crazy to me. I know we have tolls, but damn. You got to pay, I don't know how much. I don't know how much New Yorkers play. I see why people leave New York. Here's Greg Foreman. If AOC becomes the leader of the Democratic Party, then they'll lose all the male vote and will never win another general election in the foreseeable future. I'll leave it off with that. Do you agree with that synopsis? Is the future of the Democratic Party, like who will be somebody that could lead the Democratic Party back to sanity? I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on who is that Democrat? Who is that Democrat that could lead them to sanity? Is it Hakeem Jeffries? Is it Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer's on his way out. I ain't gonna lie to you. That man about to retire very soon. I want to hear your thoughts and your perspective on who is the future of the Democratic Party. Is it these woke people, which seems likely because they're parading their faces everywhere, right? And I don't know. 2026, 2028, maybe we'll have a better idea, but that's just some of my thoughts. I'd like to hear yours in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.